This is our segment that's devoted to patient advocacy and really allows patients to tell their PAD journey, their PAD story. We're welcoming producer Mike. He's our Save My Piggy guest. He's doing this in kind of memory of his mom, Christina, who succumbed to complications from peripheral arterial disease, right? So, Mike, welcome. I mean, you are part of the show. You are the show, but welcome to the Save My Piggy segment.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, why don't you just share with us, your mom's story?
Oh, she was, full of life, loved to walk, came from Germany in the 60s and, started as an au pair in Bel Air of all places. And you worked her way through California, finally having me. And then she moved to Florida because she got tired of California and she was a little more right-leaning, so she wanted to move to Florida, and she loved it there. But then something happened. She was playing hopscotch. Is that the one where you jump?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
And she hurt her foot that day, and from then on, stuff started going weird with her left leg, like the different veins, and I guess they were starting to deteriorate in her leg, and
the
arteries, and when you were talking about stents earlier, I heard that word so many times over I think it was about a 15-year period where it was just...
So Mike, your mom had issues with PAD for many years, right?
Yes. Yeah, well over a decade.
How many procedures do you think she had in an attempt to save the piggies and preserve that left leg?
I would say at least 10.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Over the course of 15 years?
Yes.
And what did it include? Of course, there's the angioplasty with the balloons pushing the plaque aside. And you mentioned a lot of stents. Did she also have a bypass where they reroute the flow using veins or a graft?
Yes, I think they did use different veins that they would put into her. Graft, I'm not sure about, but yeah, they tried that. I remember she had to do a test where they put different colored fluids in her body.
Contrast fluid.
Yeah. I remember her saying, it felt really warm. It was a bizarre feeling. But yeah, they did that. And
did your mom, so folks that have peripheral arterial disease often have some risk factors, tobacco use, diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol. Did your mom have a lot of that, or was it?
Yeah, she had been a smoker her whole life.
Okay.
And the doctors did tell her many times, you should probably quit. And she said, well, I'm in my 70s. Now I'm in my 80s. I'm not going to quit anytime soon. So, but yeah, it just kept coming back. And I know they gave her blood thinners and, along with all the surgeries, it would be fine for a while. It'd be maybe for even a couple of years, but then something would come back all of a sudden.
And then ultimately, she ended up having to have an amputation, correct?
Yeah, that was about 5-6 years ago.
And and what was the catalyst for that, where they said there's nothing more that can be done?
Yeah, they said basically this leg's going to kill you. You have to say goodbye to it, basically.
So it sounds like the leg probably got infected, or the foot got infected beyond repair. How did that affect your mom, the amputation, as well as loved ones, yourself and other family members, with respect to having to kind of help her out and deal with that?
It's
loss?
Interesting. She was divorced twice, and the love of her life, she met the love of her life towards the end of her life. And around that time was when she knew him, and he was so kind to her and took care of her, and helped her get, I guess, motivated to take on this huge task of learning to walk without your both legs and getting used to she got very, very used to that.
And she was able to walk again with the prosthesis?
The prosthesis, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say a fake leg, even though she put toenail polish on the toes of the foot, because she loved to wear sandals all the time. But yeah, she got used to it, and I saw her back in October, just a few months ago, and she was walking without the cane, like holding on to a rail on the side, but she was standing up and walking pretty quickly. So she had gotten used to it. But yeah, it was definitely one of the toughest things she had to get used to.
But then unfortunately, in February, she ended up having a fall.
Yeah. Somehow I wasn't there. Nobody was there when it happened, but she somehow fell out of the wheelchair and it fractured a hip. And they took her to the hospital, and all kinds of complications ensued. Primarily, what I heard from the doctors afterwards was the blood pressure dropped significantly.
Sounds like your mom was pretty remarkable. In the closing of the segment, Mike, what do you think would your mom tell anything to our listeners about her journey or tobacco use or things of that nature? I mean, if you could do it over again, do you think she'd maybe try to stop smoking or change anything?
Of course, I would say to everyone, don't smoke. That's a very difficult thing to try and quit. My mom dealt with it her whole life. But yeah, if you can stop, that would be the best. Even doctors were telling her as late as in her 80s, if you quit now, you can still probably help yourself. But yeah, but I guess, have a good team behind you. It was tough in Florida where she was, and I wish she would have known Heart of Innovation and Way to My Heart, because it would have helped her a lot. And just to have good people behind you would be the best. Get good support behind you.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. I mean, the waytomyheart.org is really a great place to go for people who have questions, who want to know if they're getting the right treatment, if they want second opinions, and if they just want a friend in health. I think that's really important as well. And I wish we would have known her, 3 or 4 years ago, because we started in 2019. I would have felt honored to help Krista. And we feel so blessed, Mike, for you sharing her story. And I know how much you love her, and she's still with you today.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Dr. Phillips.
You're welcome. Thanks for being a part of Save My Piggies.
Patient testimonials are not claimed to represent typical results or guarantee that anyone will achieve the same or similar results. This series is for educational purposes only, and any advice offered is not a substitute for medical advice from your own supervising physician. Do not act on any information provided in this series without explicit consent from your own healthcare team. For more information on vascular diseases, go to www.thewaytomyheart.org.